Hello everyone, and welcome to a quick walkthrough of my puzzle map, Helping Hands. Let's just jump right into it and take a look around. So, when we start off in this room here, um, we have very little at our disposal. We have an axe, which is just to break stuff in general. We have a block of sand, and when we look around, we don't really have much else. There's a zombie over there. And if you look to the side, you can see um, pressure plates here. That if we could somehow get something to walk over those, it would activate stuff. We also have a skeleton that is standing on a pressure plate that we want to remove. So what we can do, we don't have a lot of moves available, so we can place sand here to free the zombie. The zombie kind of waits a little bit to get out, but eventually he does. I find like kind of crouching and jumping seems to help. But then what we're going to do is we're going to punch the zombie, and we're going to go into the nether. And now we're in what's like kind of a recreation of the room. And the zombie can follow us across dimensions. If you just stand still and wait for him to hit you, you can use that to make sure he's still following you. And then you just take him into here. And you get a little notification that says the zombie's captured. If you want to take a little look in the nether as well, we do have a dirt block up there on that ledge. There's another ledge over here that we can't access just yet. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and go back into the overworld. And we can see the zombies captured in there. And we now have access to this door. So using the door, we can now jump up and over this wall. And we can go ahead and go over here, break this suspicious sand. And if we can get this skeleton to shoot the zombie, surely this won't take me a million tries. Come on, skeleton, lock in. Please. Please. Listen, if that chain didn't have to be there, it wouldn't be there. Okay, there we go. Now the zombie's just going to go over and kill the skeleton. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and grab the sand here. Now that area is blocked off. And a dispenser also goes off that gives us another door. So using this door, we can now go back over. And we can now have both the sand and the door. Which will allow us to go over this ledge. Now, there's not much to see here. We have a path that's just to let us out of this area. And there's another 3-block tall ledge that has a dropper inside that we can't reach just yet. So if we go back over here and we go into this side of the portal, we get into the other side of the map, which has an iron golem, a ledge we can't get up, which this is just the way to the end. It has this weird ledge here, and then a little pathway to go up. What we need to do is we need to punch the iron golem, and then go back into the nether. And then we gotta be a little bit quick with this, just because of mob loading times, but we're able to use the golem across dimensions to boost ourselves up this ledge. And of course, he de-aggroes because I suck at jump timings. Oh, it's important to just like sprint across here. Don't run and jump. Oh, that was beautiful. Anyways, we can now get access to this glass, which don't place in the nether. It'll soft lock you, at least for now. You will eventually be able to pick it up again, but currently it's a one-time use. Anyway, we can now go ahead and grab our door and our sand and make our way back into the side with the iron golem. So we can use the iron golem to get... Oh my god, please. We can use the iron golem to get ourselves onto this ledge up here. And then we can use the door and the 2 blocks we have to climb up here. This also lets us go back across into this room if we need to, or vice versa. But then we also have access to another dropper over here, which gives us a fishing rod. So now what we can do is we can use this on the golem to get him up and over this ledge, and why are you trying to go that way? What could you possibly... Okay, there we go. His pathfinding's a little A little dumb, but we can get him into the nether. And we can also go ahead and recollect these. If you forget to grab these, you can use the golem across dimensions to get back up here, or you can just bring the golem back. But anyways, we're just going to go ahead and go back into the nether. And with the iron golem, we can now go over to this ledge, and we can use him to boost us up. It's a little tricky to time this because it is a 4-block tall ledge, but eventually we can get up here. Okay, there we go. If you are struggling, you can place a block, but I like to use all 3 vertical blocks of height just to get the start without having to constantly jump to break it. But we can now bring this guy back over. And what we're gonna do next is bring the golem. Oh my god. We're gonna bring him nowhere. We're gonna try to bring him in here. This is the side we want him on. And I didn't do a good job showing it beforehand, but chances are if you're watching this, you probably... Okay, there we go. Probably looked around a little bit. I hope. Okay. I'll show it off now, actually. There's a ledge over here that requires us to get up a 4-block vertical height. And then, I think this is also, what, 4? Yeah, 4. 4 blocks and then 3 blocks. Or no, 4. I can't count. It's okay. Anyways, what we can do is, after we use the golem to get over this ledge, right? We can go ahead and grab this door again, and then go over to this corner, and use the golem to get ourselves back up to here. And now we want to be careful, just so that the golem doesn't go back into the nether and make our lives annoying. But we're going to go ahead and reach that ledge that's up there. And we can once again use the fishing rod to bring him up and over. And then we just kind of have to jump down to make him finish clearing the gap. And then we're just going to use him once again to get ourselves back up here to get our blocks again. Go. And then we can just use him to get ourselves up and over. And then we'll just bring him over here to this ledge. And we can now get all the way up this corridor over to a chest that gives us a silk touch pickaxe. So we can go ahead and grab the chest, make our way back, grabbing all of our stuff. And we're going to bring the golem back over here. Okay. So now that we have the items that we have, we are going to want to bring the golem back to the nether again. But before we do that, what I'm going to... Well, I'll bring him over now. I'll bring him over now. Come on. He might not want to because of where I'm sitting. There we go. But we can just go ahead and go in here real quick, and we can grab the dropper from before, as well as the glass. Let me just make our way back around. Through here. And back over here. Oh, the golem is still here. Hi, buddy. We can just go ahead and get all of our stuff back. Did everything really have to fall up there? Okay. Alright, golem, come here. Alright. We're gonna do this way. Come on. There we go. So, there is one more block that we need to obtain. And that block is this one. Now, unfortunately, we can't just break the block and pick it up because it's down a block in here. So we'd have to place another block in order to get it out, which just gives us a net nothing or net negative as far as how high up we can build. So what we can do instead is we can go over here and just pillar up, and we can bring the golem. This might take me a couple tries. There we go. We can bring him up and over into that area. And we can use him to get that final block. There we go. And then we just need to use him one more time in order to get to where the last ledge is in the direction of the wind platform. So we're going to enter this side where the golem was originally. And since he's aggroed onto us, we can use him to get up here. And now it's just a matter of building ourselves out. And just like that, we've completed the map.